From Harlem, New York, standing 6'2" for law, order, and the American way, Justice!
My name is Justice. I take no jive. You mess with me and you won't survive. In the ring is now my place. You mess with me and I'll break your face.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mike Rand Show, and today's special guest is from G.L.O.W, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, Justice. Hey Justice, how are you?
Hey Mike, how are you? I am much better. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So today, as we're filming this, it's in 2020, and we're at the peak of the coronavirus situation. And Justice has a story that she's going to share with us right now because she actually had the coronavirus. And we're so happy that you're here today with us to speak about your experience.
Oh, Mike, thank you so much. I'm honored to be on your show, and thank you for being an avid fan of G.L.O.W. I'm so excited. I follow you, on social media. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. And yes, I had a bout with the coronavirus. I was sick. First, I became sick March 9th, and I was deathly ill, didn't know what was going on. Coronavirus was far away from my mind, but I knew that when I got home one day, that was a Tuesday, or it was a Monday, because Women's Day was March 8th. And I did an event at a church. But anyway, speed it up. On the 9th, I was just so sick with difficulty breathing. My chest was hurting so bad. It was like an elephant sitting on my chest. And so I Googled, the famous doctor, why would my chest hurt? And it had all types of information, maybe indigestion, maybe you didn't swallow your food well, maybe stress. All these things could cause my chest. So I just narrowed it down to some of those things. And so the next day, that entire week, I was just in the bed. I couldn't eat, couldn't smell, couldn't drink, couldn't taste food, and I was still having difficulty breathing. But the main thing was that I was extremely tired. And I went to the doctor a couple days later, but maybe say a week or so, gave them my symptoms, and they took a couple of x-rays, and they said, well, they couldn't figure anything out. They sent me home. And so with that, I didn't get better. I just kept getting worse. And now the coronavirus was, real big then, pandemic. And on the 16th of March is when they, told the schools not to go back. They shut down the churches. I am a preacher now, and they shut down. I preach at a community center, and they shut those down. And I still didn't think coronavirus in my illness. And, because they kept saying you have to have a fever or a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing. Well, I had one, difficulty breathing, didn't chalk it up to coronavirus. I just thought, hey, maybe it's something going on with whatever. And make a long story short, so after 2 or 3 weeks with those symptoms, and I've been around my family and all of that, one of the ladies that I had been in contact with passed away. She passed away as complications of COVID-19. And so when they told me that, I said, well, I better get to the doctor and get tested. And so I went to the doctor, still couldn't breathe, and they tested me then, because I was able to say the 3 questions they were asking in early March were, do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? Do you have difficulty breathing? And I didn't have a fever, never got a fever, didn't have a cough, but I did have the difficulty breathing. So they wouldn't test me. But after the young lady passed away and I told them that, now they come in with the hazmat suits on and tested me. And on April 2nd, I got my diagnosis. I was positive for COVID-19, which alienated me from everyone, my family, who I raised 4 grandchildren and my husband. So I was in my room, sick. They took care of me though. They would bring me food, kind of like on a platter, and push it toward me because I was still, I really still couldn't maintain my own standing. My legs ache, and I'm a tall girl, and my legs ache, and right even now I still have difficulty breathing, but I am so much better. I tested negative last week. I believe it was May 11th. I went and had my test, and on the 13th I found out that I was negative. So, amen for that. I still have the the difficulty breathing at times. I get tired easily, but those are just symptoms, that'll come back. So I'm asking and telling everyone, believe me, this is real. And if you're out, please wear your mask. And look, I want to say wash your hands too, but I know we all wash our hands. I don't have to tell you about your hygiene, but I do want to say take precautions, do your social distancing, and wear your mask, because your mask is a thing that not only protects you, but it protects others. Now they're finding out they're asymptomatic and all that type of stuff. So just be careful. I view it as a universal disease. Everybody has it. So I protect myself. I don't ever want to get this again, nor wish this on any of my Glow Girl enemies back in the day. So, just thank you, Mike, for having me speak a little bit on that. And I survived. I said, God kept me here for a purpose, because, I'm a loudmouth. So he kept me around, because in the United States, over 60,000 people have lost their lives, and my heart goes out to them. But worldwide, 230 something thousand people have died from coronavirus. So this is a very serious illness. It's a virus that attacks many parts of the body. And my heart goes out to the people who lost loved ones, or people who are affected with it now. So God bless you for letting me talk about that, and thank you. I hope I didn't take up all the time.
No, thank you so much for speaking about that. And I'm so happy that you've gotten better. You and I have been communicating over those
Yes,
months too. I kept checking in. I'm like, I hope you get better soon. I hope you get better soon. Because
yes.
I wanted you to come on our show, and I'm so happy that you got better. And
Thank
I
you.
mean, it's a huge tragedy. And even when you went during that time, they didn't know at that point about you were mentioning the loss of taste, the loss of smell. That's something that kind of came a little later as a symptom.
Exactly. Because I had all those symptoms at first, the achy, because you get achy body, my legs ache very bad. My husband had to put the, being gay on them, or because I couldn't walk. My legs were they ache so bad. And those are symptoms now, the loss of smell, loss of taste. I lost 23 pounds in 2 weeks, in like 10 days, because I couldn't eat. And I realized that I eat for taste. And things just didn't jive. If it didn't have a taste, then the texture of it just wouldn't work. So I thank God, that he kept me. And those are some of the symptoms now. So be aware of your health and others that are around you. Thank you, Mike.
Yep, you're welcome. And definitely, guys, if you're not watching this, in 2020, things are changing every day. So
Yes.
obviously, we don't know if there's a vaccine yet, if there's anything, that's going to cure it. So just keep up to date, if this is still something that's going on when you're viewing this show at a later date, to keep
Right.
up with the latest information on how to protect yourself. But now on to a lighter topic is
All right.
G.L.O.W, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Woohoo!
And what we want to know is, you played Justice on the show. Can you tell us how you got started in wrestling?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, such a great okay, so in 87, I was in Canoga Park. And my persona, my character was Justice from Harlem, and I was this big bad girl. But in the interim, I really wasn't. But I played the part, and I love Glow. I love all my Glow sisters, Glow family. I call them still today. Um, so I met Aunt Kitty, who was the bad girl's manager, and she said, "Oh my goodness, you're tall, and we're looking for African American girls to be on this show, Glow, and all of these things." And I said, "Oh, okay." So she gave me the number to Matt at the time, and I didn't call him right away, but she called me back and said, hey, they're waiting for you to call. So I called him, met him, and that was history. I was down in Las Vegas. I came to Vegas in September 1987, been here ever since. So that was the start of G.L.O.W. I met all the G.L.O.W girls. I was saying earlier that, you know, I believe when we started, it was like 113 girls doing the tryouts. And the 2-week tryout ended up being a 6-week tryout, you know, rolling and bouncing and punching and swinging and all those things. And I was already 29 years old, so I wasn't a spring chicken at the time. But I'm so excited for that journey in my life because I got to do quite a bit.
Had you watched G.L.O.W before? Because you came on during season 3. Had you seen seasons 1 and 2 or know anything about wrestling at all?
I did not. I would, you know, what channel surf, you know, and I would see it every now and then, but you know, I really, it didn't really catch my eye, but I was like, oh wow, look at those girls, and I would just surf through, you know. But when they told me about it, and I came, you know, season 3, then I was able to watch it and got to see how, you know, G.L.O.W was born. That's what I was saying.
What was the training like when you were training?
Oh, the training was gruesome. And I say that because I want to say a part of this because I was in 6 months of recovery. I was recovering from drugs and alcohol at the time. I have a big story. Recovering from drugs and alcohol, I had 6 months clean at the time. And I also smoked cigarettes in 1987. So the training, you know, 200 jumping jacks at a time. We would do repetitive rolls and jumps. We would also train at a gym. We had to be up at 5 a.m. every morning, 5-6 days a week to go to the gym. We did, I want to say aerobics. What else did we do? We did gymnastics as well to learn how to bounce and come up off your feet, you know, because you have to be careful. And I'm a big girl, and, you know, you can hurt yourself, you know, if you're not properly trained. And we worked hard. You know, we were also licensed through the athletic commission of Nevada, Clark County. And so, you know, it was a very serious workout training. We had our own trainers. We also had a diet that we had to follow. And, you know, at the time we were with the Riviera, so we would go there to the buffet. And mine was a whole lot of salads with a little bit of meat, a little bit of protein, and no sweets. But I would get caught every now and then with a cake. And we would get fined for that because, you know, your health and safety was number one in training for G.L.O.W before we would start our actual season of, you know, actual matches. You had to really be athletic and be able to stay in that ring for a while and to be able to pick up weight and all of that because, you know, we were not, all of us were not really like girls. Thank you.
So you were part of the tag team Liberty and Justice when you were introduced to us. So how did they come up with pairing you with Liberty and coming up with the Liberty and Justice concept?
Well, they, by being from New York, and so Liberty, you know, the Statue of Liberty is a monument in New York. And by me being from New York, you know, an ex-cop and all of that. So they put us together. Now, she wasn't in the beginning, but she came. And so they put us together and it worked out quite well. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but we did a show in Texas. We had about a crowd of 4,000 people. And they had me come out singing Bruce, what was his name? Oh my goodness.
Bruce Springsteen?
Yes. Born in the USA. And I had to come out with my flag, and Liberty carried the flag. And that was a long match. Now that workout really paid because that match went on for about felt like a century. But we came out and Liberty and I, you know, we were the USA against, I believe it was, can't remember who it was now. My mind, anyway, I need to take some ginkgo biloba to get everything back. But they paired us up and we were a team and we worked out well. And Liberty, she was always trying to do better and get better in her wrestling and her strength. And so was I. Thank you, Mike.
And one famous match that you guys had as a tag team, since you were USA, was pairing you up against the Russians, Ninotchka and Major Tanya. So that was a big match.
Yes, that's exactly who it was when we went to Texas, and that why we did the Born in the USA against the Russians. Yes, and we won that match. Thank you.
And what are your memories of wrestling the Russians, Ninotchka and Tanya? And how did you feel, you know, knowing that the crowd's chanting USA, USA, everybody's rooting for their country? What kind of excitement? Did you have a special kind of excitement in that match?
I did. That was a moment that I would never forget. I felt like I was 12 feet tall. It was a superstar moment for me. You know, as a G.L.O.W girl and as a wrestler and as an African American as well, because, you know, I don't want to talk about prejudice, but, you know, it's a part of the history, and being rooted on and stood up for like that, you know, gave me a sense of pride as well, which I already had, not to be boastful, but it kind of softened my heart. And with Liberty right there, that was one of the best matches ever. And so that's really, you know, it just said, wow, people, you know, really love United States of America. They love Americans. Thank you.
Yep. And then during the course of G.L.O.W, Ninotchka, she was the G.L.O.W champion at the time. She abdicated the crown, and there was a tournament called the Run for the Rubies. And you were one of the participants in there. And there was a match. Now when that happened, I got to admit, because I figured, you know, they already had a heel as champion. I said to myself, there's one of two people that they're going to give this crown to. Either
Yes.
Justice is going to win it.
Yes.
Or I said, maybe because she came back, Sally the farmer's daughter. Because I figured those two good girls, you know, because they might want a good girl champion. And then what was the funny thing about it is Sally got in a plot line where she went back to the farm, and Justice got injured by Daisy. So neither one of you got to be in that wild card battle royal, and the two people I thought one of the two that was going to win that crown didn't wind up winning or even being.
We didn't win. I was out 6 weeks. I had a torn meniscus, had to have surgery and everything. I was out 6 weeks in a leg brace from that match right there. So, you know, when people say it's not real and all that, no, you real. The hurts are real. The hits and getting injured is very real. Yes, I had laser surgery. I'm still having trouble with that knee today. Thank you, Mike.
and you were 6'2", and so was Daisy, 6'2".
Yes.
So those were some pretty good matches, because you two, when you got paired up against each other, those were some good matches. What are some memories of working with Daisy?
Oh, Daisy is such an angel, a bad angel at that. But she is such a good person. I love her. We when we did that suplex, did you see that, Mike?
Yep.
Where she's 6'1" or 6'2", I'm 6'2", so you know that was like 12 feet in the air. And my God, we didn't get hurt during that, but that was powerful. They called us the giants in the ring, and that just, you know, Daisy, very powerful. Her character, you know, with Grimlina was kind of docile, but she was a very strong wrestler, and very mighty young lady, and smart. And so she would execute those moves with excellence, and I admired her for that. And we bonded at the end. You know, today I still see her on social media, and she's such a lovely lady. Yes.
And another wrestler that you wrestled that you had some good matches with was against Beastie. What are some memories of Beastie?
Oh my God, Beastie is Beastie. A kind soul, but Beastie, if you ever see her in a match, she was all in it. And sometimes it would kind of take over her, and she would come actually this beast in the ring. And I believe that's how she got her name, because she was actually a beast in that ring, and she would go for you. I mean, you better be prepared because she could knock you off your feet that you wouldn't be able to get back up. And that I admired her for that too, with her braided hair, her blonde hair, and her uniform that she wore. Yeah, it's true beast on in the ring, and a true beast out the ring with her kindness. That was about Beastie. We got along well, and you know, never a dull moment with us Glow girls. Never a dull moment.
Yep. What were some of your favorite moves to do in the ring? Because you had many moves. You did
Oh,
Beals,
I had many moves.
body slam.
I love the clothesline, but my number one was the leg drop. I love doing that. You know, I took that on from oh, I can't think of his name now. Wrestler. He did the leg drop, and I love doing the leg drop because you know my legs were powerful, and you couldn't really get out from under there. So that was one of my favorites. Another one would be the suplex. I didn't do it often, but when I did, that was a powerful move, you know, and you have to be careful because you could really kill someone doing that. So, you know, I had to have upper body strength, which Matt would always make me do upper body strength. And, you know, that was a lot of push-ups, a lot of upper body workout, and you had to have strong legs to be able to hold up people. So, you know, there was a lot of work. I better get back to that workout routine. That'll help me kick this coronavirus in the butt.
Yep. And unfortunately, there were a couple Glow girls that we lost in the past couple of years who, you know, were just legends in the ring. Mountain Fiji and Big Bad Mama. And I know that you worked with both of them. Can you let us know what are your memories of them?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I'll start with Big Bad Mama, Lynn. We from the very start, you know, we developed a relationship that was a bond. And as powerful as she was, and with her voodoo queen stuff, you know, she was such a lovely person because we all came to Vegas together. And you know, for the beginning of the tryouts, we all came together. She was season 3 as well, and her children were young, and my children were young, and we were like only the 2 that had kids at that age at that time, I believe. And you know, we formed a motherly bond with our children because we would keep each other's children at times, and but in the ring, she was a force to be reckoned with. I really didn't want to mess with her in the ring because you see Big Bad Mama. That's why we called her that, Big Bad Mama, because she would get you and would shake you like a chicken bone. And that was who she was and who she still is. She represented her character, her persona in that ring 100. So that was about Big Bad Mama. Rest in peace, Big Bad Mama. I miss you. Yes.
Yep. And then your memories of Mountain Fiji?
Mountain Fiji as well. Mountain Fiji, another big persona, big presence in Glow. And not only was she a big girl, Samoan girl, but she was big in her personality. She was full of life, always laughing. But when you got in that ring, you have to be prepared because she would transform into Mount Fiji. So it would be trying to fight a mountain for real because you couldn't move her, you couldn't shake her, couldn't get her off her feet. And I admired her because I did get to see her previous matches, you know, because she had already been a part of G.L.O.W when we got there. And she was already a name for herself. She made a name for herself in G.L.O.W. And it was such a sad thing when she passed because she was a young lady, you know, and had, you know, issues with health and different things. And may she rest in peace, and God bless her and her family as well. Thank you, Mike.
And also, you did have the opportunity to appear in a couple game shows while you were on G.L.O.W. You got to appear on Card Sharks and Family Feud. Can you tell us a little bit about those experiences and your memories from those shows?
Oh, yes, Mike. I loved being a part of that Card Shark and Family Feud. You know, we also went to the Sally Jesse Raphael show We were at Trump's Castle in New Jersey. Glow was very famous, and still is, but you know, a #1 syndicated show. And so we were always invited to do, you know, shows. They were on the Phil Donahue, you know, we were in the audience or however. But Card Sharks was such a fun game. And I had a crush on the guy who did Card Sharks. I don't remember his name now, but at the time
Bob
I had a crush.
Eubanks.
Who was it?
Bob Eubanks.
Yeah, right, Bob Eubanks. I had a crush on you, Bob Eubanks, back in the day. I'm married now. I'm not available, so don't call me. But yeah, that was a fun show. It was so much fun. And Family Feud, oh my goodness. You know, those questions, you think when you're at home watching it, you know, oh, I would have said this and would have said that. But when you're there, my mind would draw a blank each and every time. But I loved it. I would love to be back on those shows. They were fantastic. Thanks for asking, Mike.
And then when you were on Family Feud, I got to say too, you know, you were with Jackie Stallone on your team. And
yes,
some of those answers that Jackie gave to those questions.
Yes, Jackie Stallone is the best. She was so funny. She was the Good Girls manager. And Jackie Stallone, very kind-hearted woman, you know, and she would tell us about her son. And we also got to see her grandson on a few occasions during our matches. So Jackie Stallone, yeah, she would just, you know, she was raw and uncut, as they would say today. Yes, God bless her. Yes.
So then many years go by. Well, actually, G.L.O.W ended. And then what did you do after G.L.O.W?
Well, after G.L.O.W, they went back to California because we were in Las Vegas, and they packed up and moved back. I didn't want to go back to California, and so I stayed in Las Vegas. I actually went to a career school and became a medical assistant, and I did that for quite a few years as a back office medical assistant for ear, nose, and throat specialists out here. 3 surgeons I worked for. And I did that for 9 years. And I loved doing that. And then I went on after that because, you know, it got kind of sad, a lot of cancer and all those type of things. And after that, I went on and with my ex-husband, who is now passed, he opened a clothing store and I worked there. And so I love doing that. You know, I'm kind of like an all-around girl. I call myself a free spirit. You know, I like to be out and doing things for other people.
So then, after all this time, then G.L.O.W, the documentary, gets released, and G.L.O.W Netflix. So tell us about those two, if you've seen them, and what are your thoughts on them?
Well, my thoughts are pretty neutral. You know, I'm elated that, you know, G.L.O.W is still in the know. The documentary, I wasn't available for that. I'm not sure what I was doing at that time. But, you know, they did that, and that was a beautiful thing for them to do. And with the G.L.O.W Netflix, that kind of put us back on the map again, I believe, you know, because they were doing G.L.O.W. And I'm not sure if any of the girls were actually a part of that, but with them being just talking about G.L.O.W put us back in the forefront, you know, and some of the characters were actually playing some of the characters in G.L.O.W. And so my thoughts are still, it was a good thing, and it's kind of neutral. Thank you.
Yep, and I remember too, actually, when they did the documentary, I don't believe that maybe you were in contact with anyone, because a lot of fans may not know this, but I actually found you and put you in contact with the girls, remember?
I do, yes, and I thank you, because yeah, I had kind of lost contact because, you know, my life didn't stay there, you know, even though their G.L.O.W was near and dear to my heart, but it was a part of my journey. And so I think when you made contact with me, I was already doing, you know, I was already in church. I believe I was already a minister at that time. Now I'm a pastor of a church, but at that time, you know, I was raising grandchildren, you know, life had just kind of went, you know, kind of went the other way for the good, you know, not saying theirs isn't, because G.L.O.W is always, that's exactly what it is, glowing, you know, gorgeous ladies of wrestling. And I still call them my G.L.O.W sisters. And I did lose contact with a lot of them. And a few years, let's see, probably about 10, 11 years ago, they came to Vegas for a wrestling match, and they got in contact with me, and I went there. It was in Henderson. And so we met that way, but I still fell off again because of my life was so busy with these new children.
All right, and now what we're gonna do is play a little lightning round with Justice. And the way this works is I'm gonna give you a couple things and you just tell me which one you prefer, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna say, would you prefer to have a phone call or a text?
Text.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Glasses or contacts?
Glasses.
A couch or a recliner?
Recliner.
Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift?
Ariana Grande.
At the movies, would you rather have popcorn or candy?
Popcorn.
Toilet paper, does it go over or under?
Over.
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Hot coffee.
Jersey Shore or Floribama Shore?
Jersey Shore.
Would you rather win a vacation or win the money?
The money.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
And would you rather watch a TV show or watch a movie?
TV show.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. We had such a blast. Thank you for sharing your story, your personal stories, your experience, and everything. We're so happy that you had the chance to come on here and do that. And I'm so happy that you're well. And I hope that you stay well.
Mike, thank you so much. I am so honored and humbled. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for keeping in contact with me. I thank you for checking on me during this pandemic, because you were texting and making sure I was okay. And thank you so much for just connecting me back with G.L.O.W. and you know, keeping me in the know. Thank you so much. I appreciate all that you do.
You're welcome. Thank you. And can you tell the fans, do you have anything you want to say to the fans, and how could they contact you if they want to reach out to you?
Of course. I just want to say thank you, fans. Thank you for keeping up with G.L.O.W. Thank you for being our #1. All of you are our #1 fans, and I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for keeping it going. I won't mention any names because I don't want anybody to feel slighted, but I know who you are. I see you. I see your posts. I see your texts. I see your social media. And thank you so much. And I pray for you. I pray all is well. And you can contact me via Facebook. Just go to Norniece Norment. I'm on Facebook under Norniece Norment. And I think you just text me, send some post, and I'll post you back. And maybe I'll get a email for Justice. So then I'll put that out so you can email me. And before, I believe a couple of the fans had sent me different things, you know, and I sent pictures and autographs, and I'm still available to do that for you, just for you fans. God bless.
Thanks
Stay
so much,
safe.
Jen. We had a blast. Thank you. All right, everybody. Keep it right here for some more great interviews, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mike. Bye.